sponsored by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Let us continue our foray into the city we call Metropolis. As always, we always do a... Whenever I open up the script again, you do a once-over, try to pick up things that you might catch on the layering that we do. As always, our goal is to write a 60-page script called Metropolis to try to pitch to HBO. We're writing it in comic book style because it just kind of helps me format the action, format the dialogue. And this is Chapter 3. I'll fix that in the editing post. Again, what we've had was we're skipping past a lot of the Superman lore that gets done over and over again, and I feel like the best thing to do is really tell a cool story and then trickle it in. We're trying to stay away from the cliches because the idea that you just keep rehashing Superman shit's not going to get you the job. We might not get the job anyway, but here's what I know. I have a comic book team, I make my own comic books, and I'll produce this fucking thing even if I have to change the characters' names. Point is, we're telling a story about two men who meet at a train going into a city that has just been beaten to shit. Lex Luthor, Clark Kent, early 20s, college age, college graduate age, whatever it is. And we're establishing these two characters that are going to become very close friends over the course of their time staying in Metropolis. Lex Luthor, of course, both of them have been recently orphaned. You know, their parents have both passed. Lex Luthor, with this whole Lexington Park estate, Lex Luthor's come into a nice little inheritance. He's moving into his parents' his parents' old place in Lexington Park, the rich area of Metropolis, or the old nice area, maybe the only nice area left. And Clark will be moving into the San Monte, a bad neighborhood, the shitty neighborhood, which is going to be the focus of all the crime and the focus of the main story inside this pilot. We've come up with the idea that the rich are basically not only trying to destroy the inside of Metropolis, the ghettos of Metropolis, to kind of rebuild in their own image, if you will. They're trying to use they're using it also as entertainment. So going a little bit further, I want to go really dark shit, really cool, like the rich elite of Metropolis are just fucking turning these people into fucking gerbils and fucking roaches and just letting them fight each other. So of course, this is the building that Clark's going to be living in. He doesn't have a lot of money. He'll say he sold his parents' farm. That's what they're talking about here on the train. Lex and Clark saves Lex's ass at a train station when Lex is about to get the shit kicked out of him. Clark saves the day. They become friends on the train. Lex buys Clark lunch. They exchange some life histories. Now, what we've gotten up to... You having a good time over there? My dog's playing with a new toy. That's what happens when you work from home. Professor Kane. Got my professor ponytail. That makes me a professor. Anyway, when last we left off with our Action Comics 4, 5, 6, 7's fucking dog, we basically had stories of corrupt football players. The early adventures of Clark Kent as Superman were kind of badass because he's just kind of doing his thing, man. He helped one football player get his fucking act together. He took a bunch of generals and an arms dealer and basically drops him into the fucking war that he helped finance. So we had some cool shit here. We're coming up with some little one-off characters because a lot of these characters, these early stories, were all one-offs. They never continued the stories. But we're taking elements of each story that we read and try to fabricate our own really fun story. So now we will continue on. We have to actually start scripting out. The idea is we get a bunch of ideas, and then we have to kind of lay out the pages. So where do we leave off last time here? It's a slow process, so if you're not patient, get the fuck out of here. Alright. Again, when we left off, we have our first 4 pages here. I like the idea. I had some ideas here about Lex is moving to his family, his family's place, or father's place, depending on what you want to talk about. Both his parents could be cunts, you know what I mean? His family's place in Lexington Park. The nice classic area of Metropolis. Lex living there will have some impact on the story, as a lot of our villains, or rich elite, will be living there as well, with some close capacity to the shitty area neighborhood of San Monte, where the focus of our story takes place, where Clark is moving. So we have Clark moving into the slums, partially because he doesn't have a lot of money and he's not a crook or that type yet, but also he's kind of laying low and he wants to be where the crime is. He wants to be where the crime is. As a writer, and partially as a recluse still on... I don't like the uncomfortable with his powers. That's been fucking done. He's reclusive because he's making a fucking plan. He likes his powers. Our idea here, Clark Kent fucking loves being Clark Kent. Superman is almost an inconvenience to Clark Kent, but he's not going to say no to it. But in actuality, he wants to just be a fucking writer, have a good time, get laid. Yeah, no angst. I don't do fucking angst. I didn't have angst. I had angst for 1 year in fucking junior year of high school. I guess that was just puberty working its way out. Again, we have them coming in. This is them having their conversation. Pulls in. First thing we see is the Daily Planet. Right? The introduction to the Daily Planet, thing 6. Okay. So now as we get to page 5 here, Lex and Clark split off. Right now we always lay out the art script first, and then we bombard in with the dialogue, because I like to get the art out of the way, because sometimes the dialogue slows us down. The art script is my favorite part first, and then you just imagine it kind of playing out like a storyboard. That's how you start to kind of get the script going, the dialogue. Again, remember, we make or break our dialogue on the script. Split off. Making a promise to reunite over the course of time. Lex tells Clark he owes him one, and to look him up if he needs any help. You know, you can leave it off semi-vague. So we're going to leave Lex for now. And we're going to move on to Clark. Clark enters the Daily Planet, entering chaos, Perry White, barking orders, workers running around, the whole classic schmear. Again, we're not saying, oh, this is modern times, old times, World War II. Remember, we're on a different planet. We're on fucking Saturn here. Great way to start from scratch. You can have modern elements mixed in with futuristic elements. You can steampunk the shit out of it. I know I don't want fucking social media and fucking goddamn iPhones in this fucking world. They're all over my building. They're all over the world. I use it for business like anybody else. It's fucking annoying. I almost wish it didn't exist. We should go back to fucking push-button phones and mail. Yes, I'm a grumpy old man. Anyway. Entering chaos. Perry White barking orders. Workers running around. The whole classic schmear. Perry even fires Clark when bumping into him. You know, you can have fun with this. You just have, like, you bumping into fucking Perry. You, what are you? Why are you bumping into me? You're fired. Get out of here. You know, just fucking annoyed. We need that cool introduction to Lois Lane. Paving fires Clark, bumping into him. You know, you, where do I know you from? That whole, like, you, where do I know you from? Can I hire you? Can I hire you so I can fire you? You know, for some reason, I'm picturing Perry White. I like to cast as I'm writing the character. Doesn't mean it's going to be who the fuck plays it, but I like to cast it. And I just see, for some reason, even though, because I'm thinking he's retired from wrestling. If I have the power, I'm running this fucking thing, I'm producing this, I'm Al Ruddying this fucking thing, Godfather style. I'm making this Jim Cornette. I'm hiring fucking Jim Cornette. I'm hiring Jim Cornette to be Perry White. I just see this fucking southern accent running around, yelling to fucking everybody, firing everybody that bumps in his way. You big goddamn son of a bitch, what are you doing? And the idea is they have a quick conversation. We talked about this going into the whole gambling thing that we had from the issue where Superman fucks up a college football gambling with a guy that's been playing college football 6 years. What? Relax. Have a joint. My dog is restless. Frank Lombard, the sports reporter, or beat writer, whatever you want to call him, recognizes Clark from his football days, about him tanking the big game, which we will allude to later on in a flashback. Clark needs to break away. After, more than likely, after being exposed, where we see him leap away from Metropolis to hang around his parents' old farm. There he will look at old pictures, have a cool, quick flashback scene. And when I do the flashbacks, I'm not doing when his father dies of a heart attack, his mother dies of a heart attack, nothing morbid. Anytime we do a flashback, I want it to be like good times. A lot of positivity in this whole thing of whenever he goes back there. It'll be vague as to say when they died. They could have died when he was fucking 7. But anytime we go back there, the idea is that he'll be a teenager talking to his grandfather, talking to Jonathan Kent, talking to Martha Kent. Whenever he goes, the Smallville farm is his fortress of solitude. We end up writing the same thing a lot over and over again. It's just to remind us, you keep the notes there. When the dialogue goes in, you erase the old notes. If you keep them and you want to keep them, you copy-paste them, put them at the back of the file. Always the notes, always the notes. But I like to just keep reminding myself so I don't forget. If I like little note cards, you put them in here. Because again, we're currently laying out the art script. We're making all the beats. For a 60-page story, if you're looking at 6 panels per page, you're looking at writing a story or a song, a very long song, at 360 beats. Some less, some more, depending on splash pages. But again, Frank Lombard, sports reporter. So Lombard is fucking with him. Perry is impressed with him. And boom, he will then bump in to Lois Lane. Of course, you need the thunderstruck moment where Clark and Lois meet eyes for the first time. Clark shows his awkward side for the first time. Not intentional either. Because I have him a very confident being Clark. He's not even worn the Superman costume and cape yet. Any Superman shit he's done has been in Smallville or around Smallville, small-time shit. He's never left the fucking farm. This big fucking doof is going to the city for the first time. So he's never been playing the cowardly Clark Kent. He loves being Clark Kent in our story. However, when he gets around Lois, he unintentionally actually gets awkward around her. He is smitten. She is a striking fucking brunette. Let's put that in capital letters. That's why I fucking hated Zack Snyder. Why is Lois a redhead? 70 fucking years of comic books, she's a goddamn brunette, but no, that hair color doesn't matter. Why should it matter? Why should small details matter? Why is Jimmy Olsen a fucking CIA agent? Fuck you, Zack Snyder. We're writing this because Zack Snyder fucked up. Why wouldn't Superman save his fucking father? Why would the guy's dog run away? This is why fucking Man of Steel sucks my asshole and Zack Snyder sucks my asshole. That fucking bulldog back there, I fucking love that bulldog. FBI agents came after me once and my fucking dog almost got shot because she wouldn't leave my side. You fucking kidding me? What kind of dog is that? What kind of writing is that? Zack Snyder didn't own a fucking dog. That's the only conclusion I can get to. Alright, we got all the sports shit here. But we're going to use that in the flashback when he goes back to... So we have all that, but we're not going to use that until... We want Clark to be discovered as Superman first. Bolt the fuck out of there. And that's when he's got to go back to Smallville. So I'm saving the Smallville flashback for now. Have some fun with it. Lessons of life from Jonathan and Martha, whether it's through their flashbacks, and he smiles and he remembers them. And that's when he leaves. The farm should be like intact. Again, the farm is going to be the fortress of solitude. He says he sold the farm, but it's a lie because the farm is where he likes to hide. We've got all that in here. All right, thunderstruck moment. So again, let's get back on here. Later on when Clark needs to cut loose. That's our notes. Get out of here with that. All right. So that was page 5. Like I said, we like to get right into it. I don't like to waste time. I'm not like Robert fucking Kirkman with this fucking 400 pages of shitty, stupid, useless fucking dialogue. Am I bitter? No. Not at all. I'm glad he's successful and I'm sitting here talking to you fucking people. Kidding, kidding, kidding. All right. So again, that is page 6, page 5. Where's our later on? Later on. Meanwhile, all right. So, Clark and Lois meet for the first time. That's page 5. The eyes. Perry pipes in and tells Lois to take Clark along as her escort to her undercover assignment tonight at the Roadhouse. The upscale joint owned by reputed mobster Butch Matson. Boom. Something big is going down, and I want you on it, but not at the cost of your life or the story. So obviously Perry is our comic relief, but he does genuinely, Perry cares about Lois, but always shows it through sarcastic Jim Cornette humor. For some reason I want Jim Cornette to play fucking Perry White. Jimmy tries to step up, but Perry tells him he wants him as a waiter taking secret pics. Or Perry, see, I don't like the whole I don't want you to go, Perry, you're too Jimmy, you're too young. Fuck it. Perry puts Jimmy in harm's way. Somehow though, we could play that in. Somehow Jimmy could get roughed up or caught by henchmen. And Clark, remember he's not Superman yet, will have to save the day. Save his ass. But again, we got to play with that possibility. Jimmy tries to step up. Perry gives him an assignment. Clark, you pull this one off tonight, you're hired. Clark, consider this your audition. Consider this job your audition. You are to follow Lois's lead. Which of course will foreshadow Lois also getting into trouble. Maybe with Jimmy. Or they both get caught and end up in the same trap. Need something there, of course. We don't want to try and get away from a cliche, or unless we can make the cliche cool. Consider this job your audition. You need to follow Lois's lead. And get yourself a new suit. And get yourself. You have a suit? Give me some petty cash. Get him a suit. Because remember, he's in his fucking jeans. He's a writer, so he's got the fucking writer's shoulder bag. He's got that whole fucking deal. You know. Well, maybe he has to go to Lex, and Lex gives him a suit. that'll give you a nice transition to... Yeah, I like that, okay. Where are you staying? They'll ask him where he's staying. He will say San Monte Apartments. Something like that. Something where he's in that shitty neighborhood. Or maybe even Blakelytown. We haven't decided yet. San Monte or Blakelytown. They make a comment. I mean, it's like basically fucking Harlem. Basically San Monte or Blakelytown. Wherever we've decided to put Clark. Wherever we've decided our shitty neighborhood is Harlem. Before the Renaissance. Of course, when Clark lives there, he finds it's not going to be all so bad. You know, it's actually not a bad place to live. It's just some bad element, of course. But we'll get to that. Any chance you have a suit in that duffel bag? And Clark will, of course, say, no, but I know I can get one. You know, no, but I know a guy who owes me a favor. So we'll allude to Clark's going to get a suit from Lois. From Lex Luthor. Clark will use his favor to get a suit from Lex. Lex will make a comment to Lois to make sure everyone knows he gave or bought Clark the suit, showing minor hints at Lex's insecurity over Clark. We can get to that. The idea is we're scripting along here. Any chance you have a suit in that duffel bag? No, but I know a guy who owes me a favor. I mean, like, Clark, he's awkward around Lois, but he'll catch some composure. You know, Lois will give him the details. For the gig tonight. So again, really fast. Clark walks in, he gets his fucking assignment, pulls off, you know, Clark goes into the planet, gets his first assignment, and boom, he is off to the races. Now we can splice something in here, we can cut right to them, you know, literally 2 hours later, 3 hours later. I mean, Lois could be picking Clark up because maybe you need to show this shitty building that Clark's living in. When Clark's leaving to go get picked up by Lois in his nice fucking suit, he could walk by this when he could first see like some fucking guy like trying to beat his wife or something like that, and at first he doesn't get involved because he's on his way to the date. Maybe he tries to get involved, but he hears the beep. You need something. Small shit going on where Clark has to just kind of stop hiding and start throwing fucking motherfuckers into walls. Like we saw in these early comics. Okay, so let's play around here. I say we cut to it. Yeah, let's just cut to it because now we're feeling that cut. Do. See, we get our notes. We know how to script out our notes. The Roadhouse. Here we go. All right, good. Shylock, Derek Niles. Continue Action Comics number 8. Let's go get page 7 over here. So I'm going for writing like a pilot. I want to build a Game of Thrones type universe. I'm not trying to write a movie. Maybe this thing could go 2 fucking hours. Who the hell knows? Right now we're writing a story. We may or may not turn it into a comic book. Just to say, fuck you, DC. I could write the better fucking story. I always believed I could. And they seem to be putting out a lot of garbage right now. Alright. So now we continue to lay out our pages. Let's See how we're doing over here. Alright, how we feeling? We're doing good? Doing good? Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's doing good. Everybody's having a good time. Brought to you, of course, remember, by the new Pharaoh's Lounge Kickstarter. Come on, let's go for 11,000. 11,000 today. Can we cross 11,000? Can we do it? Are we worthy? Okay, so we have another page to do before we jump into our next comics. Alright, so cutting to several hours later, we see Clark fixing himself up to be picked up by Lois and her car. He is nervous and excited about his date. Literally, he just got to Metropolis and already has a new suit, a new job prospect, and a new gal. Dad would be proud. Boom. You know, he's a guy. He's in his fucking 20s, going on a big day. Picture yourself. Go back to your fucking time. That first time you're going out on the fucking town. Spritzing up, fucking a little aftershave on his stubble. He hears some commotion as he shuts the door. Walking out of his hallway, he sees a couple fighting. The husband looking like he is about to domestically abuse his wife. The husband catches Clark's eye and mouths off to him. Mind your business. Mind your business, Cupcake. Don't be a fucking cowboy. Slams the door. As Clark is about to contemplate getting involved, we hear loud beeping from the outside. Remember, Clark's young. This catches Clark's attention. So Clark's a little selfish. He was thinking about helping this chick out. The guy shut the fucking door, and as soon as he hears that beep and knows that Lois is down there, he stops giving a fuck about this girl. And all he cares about is Lois. Remember, Clark is still young and a little selfish. Not a full-on, selfless Superman yet. He hears that beep, and suddenly the girl, the wife of the drunk husband, doesn't matter. Off to the races in his new suit. Clark comes outside to see Lois waiting for him. Looking hot as fuck and making a sarcastic comment about his shitty living conditions. Yeah, I gotta take this one. Yo! Hey, just doing a little class shit. What's going on? Ooh, I'm down for talking about that. Let me call you. You at home? Oh, you don't know how long you're gonna be on the road for? All right, let me. I'll call you back in like 5 minutes. Let me just close this shit out here. All right, I'll call you right back. Right. All right, that is Freight Row. Sometimes at a business, you know what I mean? Sure. Featured on your fucking page. Clark comes outside to see Lois Waderman looking hot as fuck and making a sarcastic comment about his shitty living conditions. Boom. So, that gets us to page 7. So now we got to go through page 8. Let's do one comic book and then I'm going to call my man back because we got to discuss a little fantasy football. But I want to do at least one comic book before I do that. Just to get a sense of where we're going next with our story, so we're not shortchanging the particular class today. But I'm a fantasy football fucking junkie. Football season's on the way. We got them in the car now. We got Lois and Clark in the car on their way to the roadhouse where this is where shit's got to go down. But again, now I want to figure out exactly what kind of shit's going to go down. So, let's go to our notes. So instead of doing 4 comic books today like we did yesterday, we're just going to do 1. We're up to Action Comics 8, and let's see how well we can get to continue the story. Maybe I'll just keep going till I get this fucker past 11 Gs. Like, yes! Yes! It's a good day. All right. Now I'm excited. Let's do some shit. Do some shit here. All right. Leaping over towering buildings, rending steel in his bare hands, lifting incredible weights high overhead, impervious to bullets because of an unbelievably tough skin, racing at a speed hitherto, unwitnessed by mortal eyes. These are the miraculous feats of strength which assist Superman in his one-man battle against the forces of evil and oppression. I could have read that closer. Session of juvenile court. Oh, you know what this is here. This is going to be fucking evil fucking children. I see it. The second you see the word juvenile, it's going to be kid thieves. Frankie Morello, you're charged with assault and battery. What do you have to say in your defense? Nothing, except if I had handed over his dough without squawking, I wouldn't have hit him so hard. You speak like a hardened criminal. In that case, I have no course but to... Wait, Your Honor. Of course he talks tough. What more? He is tough. Your Honor, he's only but all the little boys in our neighborhood. Hard, resentful, underprivileged. He's my only son, sir. For he might have been a good boy except for his environment. He might still be. You know where I'm going with this now. Toy soldiers. If you've ever been to Colombia, you'll know that Pablo Escobar, man, he used to bribe kids to be fucking assassins. Superman Clark can stumble upon this. Among the spectators in the courtroom is Clark Kent, ace newspaper reporter. He listens intently, completely engrossed. My mother's right. But if I know the court of law, her plea hasn't a chance. Other interested spectators are remaining members of Frankie's gang. Gee, Nick, do you think? Shut up, box ears. The judge is going to speak. Wait till he see, Gimpy. Shush. I'm sorry, Mrs. Morello, but your boy has committed a serious offense and he must pay his debt to society. Frankie Morello, I sentence you to 2 years in the boys' reformatory. Frankie, no. Don't cry, Mama. Why that dirty? It's Gimpy's fault Frankie's getting a rap. Yeah, you're right, gang. We'll meet in the alley behind my place tonight till talk is over. Talk this over. Though Clark is seated far across the room, his sensitive ears catch the boy's excited remarks. Gimpy? Another factor in this case. That evening, a surprising transformation occurs within the privacy of Clark's apartment. Off come glasses, outer garments, his figure erects. And a few moments later, the meek reporter's figure is replaced by that of the dynamic Superman. So they go on this whole that he would walk hunched over, but I don't like it. Remember, in our universe, he loves being Clark Kent. The boys don't know it, but they're going to have another attendant at that meeting. Forward dive through the window, and Superman is off to his errand of mercy. Shortly later, clinging to the tenement above the urchin's headquarters, the Man of Steel gets an earful. I tell you, Gimpy crossed us up. The rat. He told us we stole him his stolen stuff. We sell him his stolen stuff. He'd protect us if we ever got caught. But he did do anything to help Frankie when our pal got nabbed by the bulls. No, not Gimpy. Not a peep out of him. We ought to fix that guy good. We owe it to Frankie. Come on, fellas. We're paying Gimpy a visit. The kids make their way to and enter the junk shop of Gimpy, receiver and fence the stolen goods, loathsome corrupter of youth. Not bad for a week's stake. Soon I'll be, who's there? Join us, Gimpy, just us kids. What's the idea you sneaking up on a guy pretty near scaring the wits out of him? A lot of money you got there, Gimpy. How come you didn't spend some on a lawyer for Frankie? Never mind that money. It's mine. Forget your sword. You promised us you'd help us if we ever got tangled with the cops. You promised us, Gimpy. Sure, I promised you. But I couldn't help it if business got so bad. We want the money, Gimpy. Plenty of it. Or we're going to give it to us. Or we're going to Gimpy pales as he sees one of the boys lift a wrench from the nearby counter, clutching it tightly. Money? Yeah, sure you can have it. Lots of it. I was just going to get in touch with you about it. Here are the slips for each of it. Each slip is the address of a home where you can haul would be a big tonight haul. Where a big haul can be pulled tonight. Pull the job off and I'll pay you off big. Sounds okay to me. Thanks, Gimpy. Peter Randall. 1121 Roanoke Boulevard. Must be a ritzy joint. Harold Bronson. Kinsman Road. See, we're getting names here to play with. Let's get all the names down. You need names for your comic book here. See, of course, the cliche as usual. The cliche as usual is that the kids are stealing shit. No, we're not going to do that. What if the kids are fucking fighting too? These rich elite are so sick, they even have kids fighting in the pits or sick mazes. I really want the rich to be doing or involved in some real psycho shit. Now, if you think that Zaslav and all these DC people are looking for movies, then fucking we could write this as a movie script. You just keep going until the fucking story's done. But I kind of see it as a Game of Thrones TV thing, but fuck it, man. Write a fucking movie. Right now we're just trying to write a fucking story. If it's a movie, it's a fucking TV show, it's 20 fucking 2 pages of garbage. Right now we're on page 8. Involving kids fighting. Or something disturbing. Not perverted. I don't want perverted. Disturbing. For their gambling and viewing pleasure. Something Clark and Lois will uncover involving these kids. Okay, let's get the names. Frankie Morello. His mom could be a neighbor. Now this could be very like Daredevil, Netflix season 1, where he's Hell's Kitchen and he's fucking helping people in his fucking slum. Or around. I mean, he lived in a nice building. Frankie Morello, his mom, could be a neighbor of Clark's. Gimpy, box ears. Harold Bronson. Kinsman Road. Roanoke, right? Roanoke Boulevard. And we're world building, so you need some names here. And it's more fun if you could build an entire world around the Action Comics universe. Peter Randall. Must be a ritzy joint. Peter Randall. We may never use any of these names. We may use them all. All right. After the boys depart. Whew, that was a tight fix. Now to tip off the police and get rid of them. Kids like I did Frankie. They're getting too tough to handle. Hello, police headquarters. This is a friend. Robberies are going to be pulled tonight at the homes of Peter Randall. Harold Abruptly, a hand reaches out. Tears the phone from the wall with one easy movement. What? Who are you? Someone you're going to wish you never met. Help! Here's a starter. Don't hit me again. I'll give you anything you want. Thanks. What I want right now is another poke at you. Boom! Oh, there's nothing better than the old-fashioned fucking Superman wall smash. I feel like in this particular script, he should throw a lot of people into fucking walls. As a matter of fact, I'm putting that as a personal note. Superman's favorite go-to meme-inducing move is the wall smash. I love the fucking wall smash in the comic books. He just fucking throws people into fucking walls. Never mind who I am. I'm going to give you just 1 hour to get out of town. If you don't, I will. See that you do. He drops him in Superman drops the fucking guy in tar. He drops the guy in fucking tar. How awesome is that? Emerging from the junk shop, Superman streaks off into the night. I gotta hurry if I'm to save those youngsters from the police and from themselves. Meanwhile, Box Ears drops into the grounds of Peter Randall's estate. Oh boy, this ought to be a big haul, and a cinch. But unknown to Box Ears, Gimpy is tipped off the police. If that call was the work of a practical fucking joker. Oh, look! Someone's creeping along the lawn of the estate. Don't move! The cops! At that instant, Superman swoops down out of the sky and snatches up Box Ears from under the very hands of police. Hey, what? Sorry, you can't have him. He's mine. Stop! We command you to stop! Am I dreaming? He just jumped out of sight. Hey, let me go. Not yet. Not till I've saved your friend Nick from a jail sentence. But when Superman reaches the Bronson residence, it appears he is too late. Ouch! Lego! The cops! They've got Nick! So it seems, but that could be corrected. As the patrol wagon speeds along the streets, Superman races in pursuit, easily overtaking it. We're not moving. What'd you stop the car for? But I didn't. Look, my foot is pressing down the accelerator to the limit. The explanation, seizing the auto's rear axle, Superman has raised the power-driven vehicles so that they spin aimlessly off the ground. Naturally, the wagon is powerless to move. Good golly! It's not really as hard as it appears. With his free hand, Superman plucks Nick free from the grip of his astounded guard. Help! Help! Quiet. There's nothing to be afraid of. And a moment later, he is streaking along with two bewildered captives. Now to get the others. Within a sleeping household. Gosh! I've cleaned out every bit of silverware in this joint, but now my bag is too heavy to lift without making a lot of noise. Unless... Wait, I've got it! Pinky first lowers the swag from the upper story window with a rope. Well, well. Looks like your friend is busily occupied. If he'd only turn all that energy into constructive channels. Then commences to climb down the rope. Oh, baby, what a haul. Gimpy'll give us plenty for this. What? Who? Hey, give me that silverware. It's mine. Oh, no, it's not. It's going straight back to its rightful owners. At still, another residence. The remaining member of the gang gives a soft cry of exultance. He is painting and sweating. It took hours of hard work, but I finally broke through them bars. Boy, am I tired. But now to ransack the place. Oh, no, you won't. I'm afraid your labor was all in vain. You're coming with me. Who's this guy? Who is he? We don't know. But he is strong. Woo! Boy, can he run. Is he a copper? No, he ain't, because he's made a monkey. He's made a monkey out of him. What are you talking to us? Back to the tenements. Now you have brought us here. What do you want? Just to talk to you. Now try to pay attention to what I say. Now remember, this is our basis because we got Clark's going to be living in a shitty place. Partially, again, because he doesn't have a lot of cash until he gets these writing jobs. And the other part is it's going to be a center of our action. You've gotten into your head somehow that it's smart to steal. That stolen money is easy dough. That's not true. No doubt you've already learned that no matter how much you bring in, Gimpy keeps the lion's share. Oh yeah, we only get peanuts, like I was telling Pinky the other day. Shut up, Box Ears. You're blabbing too much. What we get is our own business. What's more, you've always the fear of the law will make you pay for the penalty of your crimes. Well, sometimes I do get nervous. Screw the coppers, not us. Gimpy says he'll take care of us if we ever get caught. Gimpy take care of you? Has it ever occurred to you that it's mighty strange those policemen were waiting for you at the places to be robbed? Sort of like a trap, wasn't it? Do you mean he say that Gimpy tipped us off? Yes, he intended to betray you to the police just as he did Frankie. And he would have succeeded, too, if I hadn't happened along. Why, you dirty stoolie. So that's how Frankie got caught. This is one time he won't talk to himself. Out of a tight spot. Come on, fellas. At that moment, a shadowy figure which has crept forward and listened to every word suddenly straightens erect and levels a rifle. So they're gonna get me, eh? Then if I get a burst, you leet lead, you little rat. Dude, he just fucking point blank shoots a motherfucking kid. They did not give a fuck in the old days of comic books. Superman has sighted Gimpy the moment he pulled the trigger. Instantly the Iron Man acts. Oh, the Iron Man. He springs forward. And now, enacted in a fantastic tense drama, which is of such infinite simulation, in infinitesimal duration, that the human eye is incapable of recording its amazing occurrence, Superman races the bullet, and actually succeeds in beating it to its target. This must be the first time in all history that a target hits the bullet. Its impenetrable skin unharmed by the bullet, Superman springs at Gimpy. When I told you to leave town, I meant business. No, no! Propelled by Superman's toes, Gimpy sails out through the night and lands with a splash into the river. Help! As Superman stares after Gimpy, Nick seizes the opportunity. He sneaks upon him with behind and crashes a wrench downward. Take this. Oh my gosh, it bent. What was that? That was a mean stunt to pull after I've done for you. I'm afraid there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's to throw a little fear and humility into you. He's gonna fucking rape him. Just Superman pins him down and just says, "You little bastards. You succulent little boy bastards. Cut it out my ribs." He's just gonna... Sorry. Upward springs Superman towards the telephone wires overhead. This is rather drastic, but the only way to put some fear into you little bastards. Hey, what the? Striking the wires, he teeters dangerously back and forth, apparently seeking to gain his balance. Whoops! Watch out! Want to kill us? You dope? Maybe the wire won't hold our weight. You think so? I'll find out. He's just fucking with these kids. Superman makes a complete backward flip and lands safely again on the straining wire. It worked! Help! He's nuts! No, we're nuts. Something like this just couldn't happen, but it is! Forward streaks Superman along the telephone wire. His ability to retain balance is miraculous. One thing you've got to admit, there's no heavy traffic up here. Abruptly, he leaps out. Did you ever wonder, boys, how it would feel to fall from a great distance and be crushed to a pulp? My God, he did it! Well, here you are, safe and sound, when they alight. How would you like to do it again? Again? You bet. Come on, what are you waiting for? It was fun. Well, you actually enjoyed it. I gotta hand it to you, kids. You have plenty of nerve. Too bad you can't turn it into constructive channels. Any guy could do that. Any guy who can do what you do, mister, is okay with us. You're swell, and we give anything to be like you. If being clean and honest is your code, then it's clean and gonna be ours too. That's fine, boys. It's not entirely your fault that you're delinquent. It's these slums, your poor living conditions. If only some way I could remedy it. At that moment, fate takes a hand from the swarm of several shouting newsboys. Extra, extra, Cyclone, hundreds homeless. Superman secures a copy. I've got it. Cyclone hits Florida. Now remember, we don't have any real places in our stories. I've got it. What? What have you got? An idea. A superb, glorious inspiration. Never mind details. Now do as I say. Shortly thereafter, the kids round up all their friends and scurry from house to house in the slum area, always delivering the same message. Leave our homes and take our valuables with us? Are you crazy? What we're doing is delivering Superman's message, and if you got an ounce of brains, you'll do as he says. A few minutes later, people on the far fringe of the slum area puzzled to hear a series of crashing rumbles, which grow louder with each instant. What is it? Good Lord, sounds to me like an earthquake, a hurricane. But they are mistaken, for the source is the sound of a one-man cyclone, Superman. So the government rebuilds destroyed areas with modern, cheap rental apartments, eh? After building after building crashes before his attack. And here's a job for it. When I finish, this town will be rid of its filthy, crime-festering slums. So Superman just fucking destroys the slums. See, we got something here. Not bad. Haven't had such a fine workout in such a long time. Here's a one fire trap less. Now we're going somewhere. Superman. Maybe the bad guys manipulate Superman to fucking tear the slums down. In the end of the story, Superman tears down the slums. Somehow, either forces the rich to rebuild for the tenements, or he is tricked into destroying. Nah, he should be tricked. He should take the building down and really do something extreme to the rich. Really emphasize that he isn't fucking around. Also, I just got an idea. Lex Luthor should help Clark make his Superman suit. This way, Lex also puts in secret surveillance and protocols in place, almost like RoboCop. I love that. Lex makes the Superman suit, but also tries to capture his DNA. Clark is aloof, and when he finds out, course, there will be blood. Oh, I like that shit. I haven't figured out what we're doing with the kid soldiers yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to fuck with that. Superman tearing down the slums. Summoned by fleeing terrorized slum inhabitants, fire trucks and police patrols swerve into the destructive zone. A lunatic knocking everything to pieces. You gotta stop him. If you ask me, you're the lunatic. One man create all this chaos, you cracked. It must be an unknown army. I'll send for the National Guard. A troop rushes into the section. Menaces Superman. It's one man. This is incredible. Stop, stop, we'll shoot. Shoot if you must, but after you've had your fun, go away before I get annoyed. Fire! Superman continues to tear structures, unaffected by the withering, repeated machine gun fire. The man's superhuman! Fix bayonets! Advance! But Superman agilely escapes his attackers through the simple maneuver of bridging several city blocks in one leap. They mean well, so I must not lose my temper and hurt them. A new menace, a squadron of aerial bombers wing to the attack. Orders out to blast them off the face of the earth. Superman is struggling with a huge edifice which refuses to fall when, doggone it won't. What's that? Drone bombers? Nimbly, he races through the streets, explosions dodging his footsteps as the frantic aviators seek desperately to eliminate them. Keep it up, boys. At this rate, the job will be finished sooner than I expected. Your assistance. He's tricking the bombers into blowing up the slums. Abruptly, Superman vanishes from sight. Behind him, he leaves what formerly were the slums, but now a desolate shambles. During the next weeks, the wreckage is cleared. Emergency squads commence erecting huge apartment projects, and in the time the slums are replaced by splendid housing conditions. Within the police chief's office, Chief Burke is interviewed by Clark Kent. You can tell your readers that we'll spare no effort to apprehend Superman, but off the record, I think he did a splendid thing and I'd like to shake his hand. You know what, Chief? Strangely enough, I feel the same fucking way. Acquiring super strength. Supervision. An exercise to allow unusual vision is as follows. First, glance at a distant object. Then glance at a close object. Repeat procedure. Do a few minutes every day, and soon you'll be able to peer more distantly than any of your friends. Ain't that some shit? All right. When we commence class next time, we will move on to Action Comics number 9, but I really like what we pulled out of this today. I like it. So now we got to get to this party. We basically have them going to a party now. Clark has got a suit from Lex Luthor. We are 7 pages into our master plan with a shitload of notes. And we have now the idea that now that he's given him a suit, now Lex will also make the main Superman suit. Of course, until Superman has to ditch it. When he finds out that Lex is using the suit to kind of try to study his DNA, study him, maybe even find a weakness. So, there we go. Let's get that in there before we forget. Lex is trying to find the weakness. And Clark, once he finds out that he is Superman. I want to get that away of the whole, they don't know. We're getting all this shit on the table. We're trying to change, not change for the sake of changing. I don't like fucking doing that box checklist bullshit. We're trying to make our story, our Superman story, really cool and interesting based on all the cool shit that we've pulled from the old comics. So, that's class today. We'll be back in a little while once I discuss some fantasy football and gambling. Peace, love, war, and all the other crazy